Hey everybody, welcome back to Rachel Reads. My name is Rachel. I love to read and write Christian fiction, and today I am doing the Narnia Book Tag. So this tag was created by Morgan from Morgan's Endless Bookshelf, and when I saw this tag, I automatically loved it. I love Narnia, and thank you so much to Morgan for creating this tag. Her channel will be linked down below. So the first question is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, a book about royalty. I'm actually going to pick a contemporary book, and that is In Search of a Prince by Tony Shiloh. It kind of combines Princess Diaries 1 and 2. The idea of it is not like a direct copy of it, but she figures out she's a princess and she has to learn all these things, but to become queen, because her grandfather is sick, she does have to get married. That's why it's called In Search of a Prince. Question number 2 is Prince Caspian, a book featuring a war. But I'm going to say When Twilight Breaks by Sarah Sundin. This starts in Munich 1938, so right before World War II. And this follows Evelyn as well as Peter Lang. I just kind of enjoyed exploring some of the pre-World War II topics. Question number 3, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, a book about faith. Now, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader is my favorite Narnia movie. I know people have different opinions on it, but since I started out watching the movies and not reading the books, it's my favorite movie. But my favorite book is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. For that prompt, I am going to pick The Wonderland Trials by Sarah Ella. I read this book last year, I want to say, and if you saw my vlog, my Wonderland vlog, you know I love this duology. But this follows Alice Little, who wants to escape her normal life in Oxford because there are these wonders who have the wonder gene and they can get into Wonderland. And it really is, this book deals a lot with having faith and believing in something that we can't see. And next question is The Silver Chair, a book featuring insanity or forgetfulness. For this, I am choosing The Lost Melody by Joanna Davidson Politano because our main character, Vivian, gets put into an asylum that she does not belong in, and it does do with, is she insane, is she not insane, and there are characters who have gone through some tragic things and they are put in this asylum for horrible reasons. And again, the cover is gorgeous, but it does do a lot with that insanity. The next prompt is The Horse and His Boy, a road trip book. I do have 2 answers for this prompt, but I'm picking 2 because I'm not done with the first book, and that is The Roads We Follow by Nicole Deese. I will talk about this book at the end of the video. So this is a road trip book, but I haven't finished it, so I'm not saying if I recommend it yet. I'm about halfway through, but again, I'll talk about it at the end. But for road trip, I'm going to pick The Princess Fugitive by Melanie Sellier. Our main character, Avon, has trained to be a weapon. And then there's her personal bodyguard, Hans, and they end up having to escape her home country, and they are on the road for at least the first half of the book. They leave the country, and then they join a caravan, and we meet some old characters, we meet some new characters, but they are on the road for probably half the book. And again, I really love this book. It is a kind of a villainous reimagining of Little Red Riding Hood. The next prompt is The Magician's Nephew, a book about creation. For this prompt, I'm picking The Story Peddler by Lindsay A. Franklin. This book deals with Tanlin, who kind of creates and makes stories, and while it does not per se deal with the creation of a world, she is a creator and she is constantly making stories or being forced to tell stories. The next question is The Last Battle, a bittersweet ending. For this prompt, I am picking Lustrous by Nadine Brandes. If you know, you know. This book, how this book ends, took everyone, well, most everyone by surprise. When it ends, if you know, you know. I mean, I cannot say because it's a spoiler, but it's bittersweet because it's exciting and it's invigorating, but you want more. That was all of the prompts focusing on the books. These next prompts are going to focus more on the characters from the Narnia series. The first question is Peter, a leader. For this prompt, I'm going for more of the metaphorical leader, and that is going to be Addie from First Date by Krishna McGee. I really love this book. This was a recommendation from Lindsay. I'll leave her channel down below. I'm picking this book for leader because this is sort of an Esther retelling, and if you know the story of Esther, Esther kind of becomes a leader in her own respect, and I feel like Addie definitely does the same. Number 2, Susan, a doubter. For this prompt, I am picking Clay from Crossfire by Lynette Eason. While this doubter definitely ends up in a better place than Susan, he is still a doubter to begin with, but him and Juliana, our female main character, have some really great discussions about faith and, you know, why God allows certain things to happen. So if you're looking for romantic suspense with like amazing faith content, I would recommend this book. Prompt number 3, Lucy, a trusting character. For this, I'm going to pick Anne from Anne of Green Gables. She is just such a bright and bubbly kid, and she's very trusting. When she comes to the Cuthberts, she is very trusting of them to take care of her, and that they actually want her when they really wanted a boy. But she has a very just trusting and very sweet nature about her, and while she does have her problems, in a whole, I would consider her a trusting character because she wants to make new friends. She loves being surrounded by people, which makes her very trusting in my opinion. So I accidentally skipped over a question, and that is Edmund, a redemption arc. And for that, I'm going to pick Kane from the Nightmare Virus. I really love his journey. I just love seeing his thoughts and how he kind of thinks things through. He's smart and he's logical, and yet he has such a interesting redemption arc. The next prompt is Caspian, a king or queen. Okay, so technically speaking, this character is not a king, but he is the head of his own country. But that is Damien from the Ravenwood Saga. If y'all know Damien's just amazing. He is just a really great character. He has struggles like everyone else, but he also has such a passion for the light. And it's just really inspiring. And while technically speaking, his title is not king, if it were like a royalty thing, he would be considered king of his country, and I just love him. The next question is Eustace, an annoying character. For this book, I am picking another classic, but that is going to have to be Mr. Collins from Pride and Prejudice. I think that's his name. I'll put the picture of him, the one I'm talking about from the Pride and Prejudice movie. And here's the clip that me and my sister loved to death.
What a superbly featured room, and what excellent boiled potatoes. Many years since I've had such an exemplary vegetable.
Yeah, he is so annoying and so oblivious. And when he proposed, he's just so frustrating and annoying. And it's not like Eustace has a character arc where it goes from being annoying to like a character you enjoy and want to survive. And then there's Mr. Collins. The next one is Jill, an archer. For this prompt, I am picking Mulan from The Warrior Maiden by Melanie Dickerson. From what I remember, she actually is a really good archer, and she prefers fighting with the bow and arrow versus a sword. She's not really good with it, which I'm shocked that I even thought of that, but she's an archer. The next prompt is Shasta, A Hidden Identity. And for this, I'm going to pick one of my favorite books of this year, and that is Once I Knew by Victoria Lynn. One of our main characters does have a hidden identity, and it is amazing. I cannot tell you which character because it would spoil it, but it does have the hidden identity trope, and I love the book. The next prompt, Erebus, I think I'm saying that right, a strong female character. I'm picking Clara from Hidden Current by Sharon Hink. This book just kind of lives in my head, and every now and then I'll think about it and remember how much I loved it, meaning I want to reread it. But it's just a book that I love, and our main character is really strong. She starts off as very much a rule follower and very strict, but she really does grow and become very strong and very bold, and I just love her character. Next prompt is Diggory, a wise character, and I'm gonna pick Sam from the Ilion Chronicles. I think that's his name. I hope it is. He is kind of this like wise Gandalf-y. He's not really like Gandalf, but he's just very wise, and he has great advice, and I just really loved his character. The next prompt is Polly, a smart character. For this is more of a basic answer, but I'm going to go with Lauren from Before I Called You Mine by Nicole Deese. She is a first grade teacher. Obviously, teachers are really smart, and I feel like a lot of characters in maybe fantasy, dystopian action books aren't always that smart. I feel like they make decisions that don't make sense. But Lauren honestly makes sense. Like, when she's confused, she's supposed to be confused. But she is a teacher. She has great knowledge about her, and I do remember liking her character. The last prompt is Tyrion, a character who's thrust into a situation he is unprepared for. For this prompt, I'm going to talk about a book I talk about all the time. If you know, you know. But that is A Time to Die by Nadine Brandes. And the character I'm talking about is Parvin. He's literally thrust into a situation she's not prepared for. While she's had ideas of going into the situation, she's not prepared for how it happens, what's actually happening. So that's all the prompts. I'm going to very quickly talk about what I'm reading, and then I'll do my outro. So I am currently reading The Rose May Follow by Nicole Deese. Like I said, this is a road trip book. This was in my library book predictions. This was predicted to be a 3.5. It could be from a 3 to a 4.5. On my Kindle, I am currently reading Cold Light of Day by Elizabeth Goddard. I am around 50% through. It's good. I just haven't read it in a while, but I do enjoy it. It's kind of the same situation with the last book I read. I like it. How invested really am I? It is on the scales. In my Bible, I am still working on memorizing Ephesians, so that is going well. I love, obviously, reading the Bible. There's so much wisdom. Some days I definitely get a lot more, but I know in the future, and by studying it more, I know I can get a lot more out of it. So that is all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around, and I hope God blesses you today. I do my best to post Tuesdays at 12:30, and I'll see you next time. Bye!